tap shoes, then you're part of the family. That's something that Gregory Hines used to say to people who were new to the art form. And so you are a part of, you know, the tap family. That makes you a tap dancer, even if you don't think you are.
And there is one video very impressed me, which is when you are 13. And it also says you definitely is a hooper, not a tap dancer, because you're very cool. So, do you think you are a hooper or a tap dancer?
I'm all of the above when it comes to tap. A hoofer, I think, involves more of the spiritual connection to the art form. That understanding that is just, it's a part of your inside and you're connected to something beyond yourself, and that helps you express yourself in a way that's really special, melodically, you know, musically, and I think that's really what makes a hoofer is real, true, visceral connection of self into the art form. And yeah, I'm a tap dancer too because I have tap shoes, and I share, you know, in this art form. So yeah, I'm a hoofer and I'm a tap dancer. So I guess you can say I'm both. Is out there, and that there's people who know about the art form and about the history, and allow the history to be a part of the teaching, the class teachings even, so that tap dancers know what they're learning, where things came from, who's responsible for, you know, that part of the giving of the art form. And you know, I think it's for everyone, you know, people all over the world. Although the tap dance started in America, it's a gift to the whole world, you know, it's an outlet, another music form that we humans can do with our bodies and express ourselves and make music with our bodies and share that way. But I think it's important that teachers understand where the art form came from. And that they have enough knowledge to teach the history along with the steps, you know? I've been fortunate to be around a lot of the grandmasters, and since I was young, I've been always searching for, you know, material and documentary so that I'm closer to the history, you know, so that's a part of me too in my teaching. So I think that's important, you know, you have to know the history, you have to understand the origins of tap dance in order to teach tap dance in the fullest way that it can be taught. You know, it's not just steps. It's a culture, so to speak.
So what if someone really wants to be a tap dancer, but they just cannot learn as quickly as other people? What advice would you give them?
You know, it's never too late to grow in any art form. It just takes, you know, strong will, determination, and once you develop a love for something, that's when you really start to grow exponentially in anything that you're learning to do. So it takes a little patience. It takes a little patience. For me, you know, I guess you could say I was sort of a natural from the beginning, but you know, it just takes patience, really. And it's not a bad thing to teach yourself what you can. They've also connected with other brilliant minds that are tap dancers that gave them information and inspired them to want to learn. And their love started with inspiration from other tap dancers. So, you know, it just takes being around the environment and around people who know about tap, or even searching online, you know what I mean? And just searching, just always searching for information, I think is important, even if you're not great right away. in the searching, you develop a respect, and out of that respect, you might develop a love for the art, and then out of that love, there's no limit to what you can do, you know? Like, you just keep doing it because you love it, and then that'll speak for itself, and it'll show in what you do.
Do you have any hard time during years? And how do you get through it when you learn tap?
Oh man, I've had many down moments in my life. Many dramatic, hurtful moments. I mean, one huge turning point in my life was losing my mother to cancer when I was 12 years old. And I was, you know, still dancing then. But one thing I kept in my mind and in my heart was that for her and for myself that I would always continue tap dancing because it was something that connected me to people and made people just smile and laugh and just love to be alive. And I think it's important that people, you know, find joy in something. And I was just lucky enough to have this gift as a tap dancer to share with people. And I say this, you know, in my difficult times, back in my memory, my difficult times, tap dance was, you know, my way of communicating and releasing all of the pain that was inside of me. It was an outlet, you know. Some people write, some people play guitar or music, or they're potters or whatever. I just get in front of a mirror and I'll dance with or without music and just create music from the top of my head. And out of releasing those painful memories, those beautiful, you know, creations, you know? So tap dance has definitely been one of my best friends. In my relationships with friends, you know, other tap dancers, all of that is connected for me. So when, you know, me and my friends are having difficult periods of time, you know, the fact that we can dance together makes everything better again. It's like we made up. You know, people say kiss and make up. I would say tap and make up. You know, like it's a very spiritual thing to people who understand it. And so, you know, painful moments or moments where you feel down, putting on your tap shoes and dancing is the easiest and the best thing that you could do because it's keeping you busy and it's keeping you out of that painful place, you know, because you're creating constantly. So I would say, you know, my relationship with one of my tap dance partners, Joseph Wiggin, you know, we had a separation, but he's still in my heart, and he's inspired my work so much because of what we shared together as friends. And we'll always have that connection because of what we shared through tap dancing. Same thing with, you know, a love of my life, Melinda Sullivan, who was another incredible tap dancer from LA, like Joseph. We got a chance to share, you know, a tap relationship and a love relationship, and they're separate. But at the same time, you know, tap dancing only enhanced the way that we could communicate with each other because we both understood it spiritually, you know, from the inside out. So, you know, it helps.
Are you a student now?
I'm always a student. I just dropped out for the second time, actually, from NYU, the Tisch School. I was studying drama and acting, music as well. So I'm not in school right now, and I've just had to step away because I needed to work. You know, it's difficult to be a full-time student and have to take care of yourself, you know, in a city like New York. It's so expensive and so crazy and hectic, and everyone wants something and they don't care about how you feel. So, you know, it's just a bit much, you know, too many responsibilities and too much pressure that I had to step away from school and just be a performer. And it's not so bad because I understand that people need to see me as a performer. Education is extremely important. Parents should allow their children who are growing, you know, growing human beings. We're still exploring, you know, who we are. And school can't teach us who we are. It can only set us up to, you know, it can only set us up to aid the system, the structure of our, you know, society. in a way. You know, it's not really teaching us who we are. It can inform us in certain ways about where we want to go with our lives, but often it doesn't do that because young people, you know, we get tired of the rules and like the structure and being confined to what our parents say we should be doing, you know? We have to find what is a part of us, and we can only do that by exploring it. And so I think it's important that parents allow their children to explore, especially art, to figure out who they are, because in art, in music, in dance, you're celebrating yourself. You're celebrating your body, your spirit, and whatever you can contribute to the art form. So that makes you special, that makes you unique. And you know, if you don't have that, you're just like everybody else, you know, in school. Okay, I'm a number, you know, in this huge university, and no one really cares because, you know, there's 500 people like me studying the same thing, you know? So that didn't make me special, it makes me sort of a droid, you know? So I think it's important, you know, that the youth are able to explore the art. Tap dance is definitely an art form, and it's a traditional art form. And it started in America. And America is a young country, you know? So how can you say it's not an art form? Because it's not ballet. Ballet is a European, you know, art form. And European countries have been around for much longer than America. But that doesn't make, you know, them the classical structure, you know? It's good that we appreciate the classics, but it's also even more important for us to embrace the new, you know, the new things that are beautiful and that are inspiring and that touch people. And tap dancing has surely been that, because it's changed dance in America completely. Like there would be no jazz dance, really, like swing dance, without, you know, tap being a part of that. There would be no modern dance. There would be no hip-hop dance without tap being in the roots of all those art forms. So tap dance is definitely a classical form, if you want to say classical, you know what I mean? But it's just a newer form because it was born in America. You know, it's baby steps. You know, once people are exposed to tap, there's an interest. And like I said before, it takes people going out to seek it. And luckily, you know, there are people like Kazu who went to America and studied with people like Savion and those folks, and came back with information to share with people. And that only made the art form more respected and more loved, because they, you know, Japan had one of their own doing something beautiful from somewhere else, you know? And I think that will happen all over the world eventually, you know, once people are exposed, especially through things like YouTube now. You know, that's really connecting the world. And the fact that there's so much information on YouTube about tap dancing will only inform people to go seek it more live and to take it in and embrace it as a part of their own culture, you know? And I think that's starting to happen more so now because of the internet and YouTube and things like that. And so there will be more countries developing in tap dance like Japan has, and like Taiwan, you know, over in China and everywhere else, you know? So it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning, and it's exciting because it's already blossoming, and people know it. And when they hear it and they see it, people can understand it even if they've never done it before, because it is music. So that's exciting, you know? And I'm so proud to be in this art form, because I know that it's going to continue to take me all over the world. You know, I'm only 25 and I've been, you know, so many places. And I come from a little small town in Michigan. And, you know, some people never get out of their small towns, but the fact that I'm connected to tap dancing, it's allowed people to see me and accept me. And make me love myself even more because I'm special. You know, I have something to contribute from my inside because it's a part of me. So I think, you know, it's bound to happen. It's a beautiful art form and people will love it all over the world. It's just a matter of time before more.